All right. Good evening from East Africa. I hope everyone is doing great. And we are live once again. Welcome to our 15 minutes with Mimi Nani. And it's a great pleasure to have you guys joining us for this talk. And we have an interesting guest here tonight. Let me just, okay. So I hope everyone is doing great. It's another week of March, and we are on with. Hi, Christelle.
Hello, Felicia.
All right, welcome on board.
Thank you so much. Can you hear and see me well?
Yes, I can. I believe other people will be able to see you as well. So, welcome. How are you?
I am good.
Okay. So, please tell us. How is the? I'm speaking from Tanzania, East Africa. Here, Dar es Salaam. It's a bit hot, but yeah, we're doing good. So, how do you pronounce Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire?
Côte d'Ivoire.
I should actually start with
Yeah.
bonjour.
Bonsoir. It's rather bonsoir because it's end of day, so it should be bonsoir.
I should be bonsoir. Oh my God. Okay. I was just trying to impress you and I'm already messing up. Okay. So
It's
it's
okay.
bonsoir.
It's okay. Bonsoir.
And how do you respond?
We will respond bonsoir. That's all.
Okay. All right. So I haven't impressed enough. So I'll try again next time. So welcome to Mimi ni Nani. It's 15 minutes live talk with our audience where we are having different themes each month, and this month we're focusing on people, more of taking an honest, deep inventory, auditing ourselves and the people that are around us and getting more meaningful. And so last week I introduced the theme and just covered a bit of an introduction and why it's very important for us to be intentional about the people that we have in our lives, how perhaps we kind of maybe we have been taken for granted, some people, maybe we have not appreciated enough, maybe we are around people who are not really adding value to our life. So who are the people in our lives, who are the crowds in our life? And so that's the topic of today, that talks about people versus crowds. And I don't want to talk much. I'd like first to introduce you, and maybe you can just tell us briefly about you. I know you're a wonderful person, you're a good friend of mine, and yeah, I'm so honored to have this conversation with you and for the next weeks. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So thanks a lot for the invite. My name is Christelle. I'm in Ivory Coast, West Africa. I am a Mandela Washington Fellow from the 2019 cohort, and that's where I met Felicia, basically. I'm married, not yet any kid for now, so I enjoy my life, I would say. I'm a mechanical engineer by training, currently working at General Electric as a commercial person. So that's what I can say about me.
All right. Thank you so much. And I am so happy because we have you as a lady in the house, and we are celebrating women. So it's not just a people month for Mimi Nani, but it's also Women's Month. So I am so happy to also have this conversation with my fellow woman, and I think this is just a representation of how we choose to challenge. And so let me get straight to the topic of today, where we're talking about people. I know, Christelle, you are, I don't want to say a people person, but I follow your posts. I see how you engage people a lot. And with you have, you work, but also you're doing the books, the English language, it's a French speaking country, but I really like everything that you're doing. So how, just tell us a little bit, the kind of people that in your cycle of life, just briefly.
So, well, there are many categories. There is definitely family, like very the small group of people that is direct family, and then large family. I definitely have colleagues. I have friends, close friends, and then those usual friends and acquaintances. I do have mentors. I have followers. What else? I said colleagues, right? Yeah, so there are different groups of people in my life, I would say. And each of them has specificities, right? A type of engagement that I have with those people.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. And I'm seeing there is a Anje. I don't know how that to pronounce that name, but I can only say Anje. So guys, please engage as you join in. And as we get on, feel free to kind of write in your comments or your chats or your thoughts, even if you find it on record. It would be nice to hear from you. Who are the people in your life? And so, Christelle, thank you for that. I would like to, to learn how do you have mentioned that, there are people who are kind of, you know, family and stuff like that, mentors and things like that. So how do you get to a point where you have categorized your people? You have mentioned something about, how long you engage or at level of engagement or something like that. So please tell us a bit more, in terms of those categorization that you make, like how I know family sometimes we don't really get to choose, but you've
Yeah.
mentioned a bit more of people. So how do you say that this is maybe closer to me or not? How do you differentiate? And you said you have followers. I suppose followers are so many people that probably some of them you don't know, maybe there's some I really don't know. So yeah, how do you say, like, maybe these are my people? Maybe how do you categorize them? How do you separate them from the crowd?
Okay. So as you said, for family, for example, we don't choose. We just born in the family. We have parents and brothers and sisters. I think colleagues, we may not always be able to choose because you may know that someone is in the company and you want to work there, but you cannot choose all of the other people that will be working there, for example. So as for friends, well, mentors, I would say I had to choose. So like approach people and say, I want you to mentor me on this specific topic. Or it was the person seeing me working and showing that he or she wanted to support, and that person became a mentor. That's for mentors. For friends, so there are close ones and there are simple ones. Close friends, it's basically that I got the chance to spend time with those people. It was either at school, the neighborhood, even colleagues, and as time flew, I could understand that those people were people of quality. We had common values. I could see that those people were here to support, and I was able to support them as well. We had a sense of interest in common, and at some point you realize that there are things you can tell to those people, and you will feel good, right? You understand that those people are there to support, not that you would call any time in the night in the week, but you know that when you're not feeling right or when those people are not feeling right, you can talk and feel better later on. So that's for friends. And then for followers, I would say it's basically people who see me on social media, who like what I'm doing or the way I am, and basically interact under my posts. And not always, but those followers may become friends, either for example, the same age. As we spend time together, if we get a chance to meet one day, those people can become friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I can say to answer your question.
Thank you, Christelle. And are there people in your network whom, when we think about our network, sometimes it's, you might have, I think last time also we talked about that, where you find that you have a lot of, like, let's say on social media, especially, you have all these social media pages. Let's say Facebook, you have, let's say 1,000, 2,000 friends. On Instagram, you have, let's say, 500 followers and so forth and so forth. And it's like, people have different objectives. Maybe people just want to have popularity. Maybe people just have to want, many people in their networks or something. I don't know for what reasons. And so how do you, how do you tell the difference when you have a lot of people in your network who are maybe just crowds and people, you've talked a lot about people who mean something to you, right? Because you have something with them. So how do people, like, get to differentiate from that, where they have, in their phone books, you find the phone book is full, but whenever you're in problem or you are in need, there is really not, someone important to really reach out to. So how does that, how would you advise, or how do you have such an experience, where you have a lot of people in your networks, but they're just crowds, not really people that you can rely on, and how do you deal with that?
There are a lot of people who are just followers and are part of the crowd. And I think the the point where you can know if those people can become friends depending on the level of engagement that those people will have with you aside social media. So,
Mm.
for example, you have people who would just be commenting your posts, who would just be liking what you say, but they will never come inbox and ask you how you're doing, or if they hear that something is wrong with you, like you were sick or you had a misfortune.
Mm.
They will never come inbox and ask you what is going on, how can we help, basically. They will just be there on your wall,
Mm.
commenting, liking. And that's okay because they are just followers. They don't mean to become your friends.
Mm.
Versus people who may start being followers, who might seek to meet you, discover more about you, not just as a person on social media, but what's your background, where you live, what are your interests, how they can support. And it usually comes with a note of how can we support.
Mm.
You will see those people sharing what you do, inviting people to attend, and relating to what you do. So that's how I basically make the difference between like pure followers from the crowds versus those who become part of the circle of friends, you know.
Mm. I like that. And so it's like, I think what I'm getting from your explanation is like, it's okay to have crowds in your life. It's like those are potential people that could move to the next level if they want to, or
Yeah,
if they show support, or if maybe, they capture something that is of interest. So there could be maybe your customers, maybe your close friends, or your close networks. I like that. And I think it's important to kind of know the difference.
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Hey, Donnie, Kevin, everyone who is joining in, we are actually been talking about people in our lives, and we have our amazing guest, Christelle, all the way from Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, and we are about to come to an end of our talk. And I just have one question. Please engage, in the chat about your thoughts regarding to who are the people in your lives in terms of the people in your circle, and also the crowds, and how do you tell the difference, and how do you engage accordingly. And one takeaway question to you, Christelle, like, what do you think? I want to ask you, if you were to advise people today, maybe anyone who is watching, or who will find this later, who do you think, who could be the top five kinds of people? There could be the people, not just in terms of names, the kind of people, I would say, the top five kind of people that they must have in their sake of life. Because there's a quote that we shared this week that by Jim Rohn, that says something around, show me the five people that you spend most of your life with, and I will tell you the kind of a person that you are. So it means a lot, the people that who are around our circle that we spend most of the time with. So what would you recommend that these are the top five people, the kind of people that you must have, or you need to have, for you to have some life, meaningful life, I would say. So what would you like to maybe advise or recommend based on your experience?
Yeah, first group will definitely be family. It's not that automated for some people, right? We have, for those who still have their parents and fathers alive, some people are not close to their family members
Mm.
because maybe some events happened in the past. So whenever possible, let's try to be close to our family members. Second group will definitely be friends, very good friends, just not just friends to go to party or like to laugh together, but people you can talk to, you can ask directions to, people you can support, people you can call anytime, you can provide support. Third group will definitely be colleagues, so people you work with. I think we spend a lot of time at work, right? So let's try to have sane relationship with colleagues, because since we spend a lot of time at work, we definitely need to be surrounded by good people and
Mm.
people we feel okay with, right? And sometimes it depends on how we react to them, how we approach them, how friendly we are to those people. Fourth group would be, I would say, mentors,
Mm.
depending on what we want to achieve in life. It can be mentors for professional life, for business, for family, but let's make sure to have people who can provide, I would say, piece of advice, people who may have experienced what we're going through or what we are about to go through
Mm.
and can help us navigate through that. And then last category that I just added will be people that will be source of motivation. I don't know how I can call them, but basically people we can look at and say, one of those days I want to be able to do more than that person. And that person may never know us. That person may be a president of a country, maybe a fashion model, maybe a woman somewhere, but someone we do appreciate, someone that we follow from afar and in whom we're interested. And having that person as a compass to feel motivated, to feel empowered, and be able to get strength whenever we feel weak or discouraged. So those are the 5 categories I can name.
Wow, I like that. So maybe you can just tell us what about you, the fifth part? Would you like to share?
Sorry, I missed your
Who
question.
is who is the number five? The number five. Who is your role model or someone you look up to?
Well, those
Just
I
yeah,
have
just one.
two. Yeah, I have two in mind. They are
Okay.
not, well, complete role models, but I think I appreciate those people.
Okay.
First one will be Mr. Dangote, Aliko Dangote. We know the very rich man in Africa. I aspire to become rich, so I'd better follow people who are rich, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To know where I'm going. And he's an entrepreneur, and I read his book, and he has a kind of mindset that I like.
Mm.
So I can say that he's the kind of entrepreneurs in terms of values that I want to look like. Second would be Joyce Meyer. She's a woman of God, woman of faith, who went through so many challenges, and was able to rise above, happily married, having kids. So that makes me reminding that no matter the challenges, I can overcome those challenges. So those are the two people I would say I have in my secret list of,
Wonderful.
models. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think participants, I'm glad I asked that question because I myself have drawn something from there. And I'm just happy to hear that, you look up to Joyce Meyer. I also, I listen to her podcast. I've been growing up and listening to them. So yeah, so I think someone somewhere perhaps has been inspired by that as well. So we have learned about 5 top people from Christelle's, recommendation or experience. So the first one is family, the second one is friends, third is colleagues, and fourth is mentors, and 5 is, I would say, role models or kind of inspirational figures.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Christelle, and that was really wonderful. It was short but quite insightful. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you for coming on board. And yeah, so we will share this on IGTV, and let's meet next week, same time, and we'll be talking about another part where we'll be discussing on how to acquire and keep the right people, the desired people in our lives. So stay tuned and don't miss out. Tell a friend and tag someone. Have a great time. Till then, bye-bye. Thank you, Christelle.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye everyone.